Do you know anything about this money that Taylor had given you all?
No, absolutely not. She's never given me anything. Absolutely. But I mean, I've read online or whatever what you're talking about. No, I've never got anything like from that. No.
Okay. Do you know anything about your finances?
No, to be honest, I give her when I work a case or and I got a settlement from my attorney, I hand it straight to Ash. She takes care of everything.
How much was that check for?
One check was almost 50 and the other check was almost 10, so almost approximately 60. I handed it straight to her.
At this very moment, the police realized that Zach MacArthur, here, might have been blindsided the entire time and might not have known what his beloved wife Ashley was capable of. That she was in fact a secret murderer. On the 8th of September 2017, Taylor Wright, a 33-year-old recently divorced private investigator and friend of Ashley MacArthur, went missing. At first, this wasn't surprising to many, as she was still stressed about her divorce, and being a private investigator, she had the means and skills to disappear.
Can you tell me how you came to know Taylor?
Through working PI cases.
Okay. And when was that you met her?
I don't know. It's probably been over a year, maybe. She was working. She and I both were working with Greg Shivers.
Mm-hmm.
We worked some cases together, and then I worked maybe a couple for her.
Out of Pensacola here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, but we worked in Santa Rosa, and wherever the cases were. That's it. We just became friends.
Okay. And in that time, did you guys ever have a falling out or?
Never. From doing this job for so long, Taylor was not she just wasn't, like I would just pick up little lies from her. So, and stuff just didn't start seeming right. And she would disappear for days. You couldn't get her on the phone. Greg and I would try to call her. You couldn't get her on the phone. And so she'd come over to our house every now and then. She met my wife. They became friends. And I remember asking my wife, I'm like, you think she's got a drug problem? She would go in the bathroom for a while. I mean, longer than normal. So I started figuring out that maybe she had a drug problem. I don't associate with that. I'm still trying to get on with an agency. I don't go around that. For years, I didn't talk to my own brother because of the lifestyle they live. Like, I just don't, I mean, you know me, I don't associate with people that, so I cut ties with her. I took her off my Facebook, and I quit talking to her.
Okay.
Although it is unknown if Taylor had a drug issue, one thing is certain. She would never leave without first getting in touch with her young son. Taylor had just gone through a messy divorce with her ex-husband, Jeff Wright, and had lost custody of her son. Disappointed and sad about the trajectory of her life, she had moved in with her girlfriend, Cassandra Waller. However, while she was getting better, she decided to go out with a dear friend, Ashley MacArthur, on the 8th of September 2017, the very day she went missing.
So you kind of know the date that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had a chance to go back and pinpoint where you were on the 8th of September?
It's I can't remember shit, but I'm trying to do the very best I can so I could tell y'all the best I can. I know I ate at lunch at the seafood. I went to the bank yesterday to pull my statement. I know I ate lunch at the seafood place at 9 Mile in Pine Forest. I ate there. And I remember eating by myself, and I remember Ash not being able to make it because she was tied up with work. So.
Zach was able to recount his whereabouts on the 8th of September, and his debit card data backed his claims. However, according to his statement, his wife, Ashley, wasn't with him at the time, as she was tied up at work. Ashley, recounting her day at that date, said,
So the 8th of September, last day you saw her, and about what time?
The last time I saw her was about 4:30. Between 4 and 5
p.m.
Yeah.
And where was that at?
My house.
Your house is, just for
3961 Raintree Drive.
3961 Raintree. last seen on the 8th, approximately 4:30 on Rain Tree. Who was there at that address when y'all returned?
I was. Zach was. But she didn't come inside.
That was pulled up in the... Okay, so let's start that day from the beginning. At approximately what time?
10:30.
So we'll say it about... And what happened at that time?
I went to Cass's house there, or Taylor's house, whatever.
Their house on Berkeley?
Right.
Okay. You went there, was Cass there?
Mm-hmm.
Now, did Cass leave before y'all, or did y'all leave at the same time?
Cass was still there when we left.
Cass was still there when y'all left.
According to what she just said, she was the last to see Taylor. However, in her statement, she did mention that on getting back home, Zach had seen Taylor as she pulled up. So who was lying here? Was Zach an accomplice, but his debit card record checked out? The truth here was that, unknown to Zach, the police had made his wife the top suspect in Taylor's disappearance and were merely determining whether or not he was an accomplice. Ashley was the last person to see Taylor, and according to the police findings, she had a motive to kill Taylor. Besides, she had been caught up in a lie.
Do you think that she would go away intentionally for over a month?
I think that she would, but I don't know why she would. I mean, I could see her doing that, but I don't understand her reasoning to do any of that, but I can see her doing that. Because she just is that kind of person. She's going to go where she wants to go and do what she wants to do, and I don't know, I really feel like it's some sort of chess game with Jeff, and I mean, I don't understand it, but...
Have you ever had to sign her name to a check? To deposit?
No.
Do you recall how much the cashier's check was for?
I think 30-something thousand, 33, 34.
And she or you deposited that?
I deposited that. I actually deposited all of the checks for her.
Into...
Unless she deposited more than mine, no. I guess she would just hand it to me and I go...
And that was into the Simply or
Purely account.
Okay. Did she ever make withdrawals or expenses from that account?
That I don't think so, because most of it was paying me back for the money I had already given her.
Sure. Now, when you were loaning her money, was it like, here's $5,000, here's $10,000, or was it like, here's a couple $100?
No, it's like, because she said that and this started way back in probably...
Well, I want to go back to the cow stuff here for a minute. This right here.
This totally could be explained on this one.
Yeah, that's why. I think this is the... Do you know whose signature that is?
It does Taylor's name, but it doesn't really look like her signature.
Would you have maybe wrote her name on there by chance?
Probably not.
Is that clearly Taylor's signature?
It looks like it.
Weeks earlier, Taylor had handed Ashley $34,000 out of a joint account that she and her ex-husband shared to keep safe while their divorce was going through. But instead of putting it in a safety deposit box, Ashley had actually been depositing the money into her own account. But according to her statement now, she made up the fact that she had never kept any money for Taylor. That being said, was Zach ever involved in any of this? Zach.
Do you know anything about this money that Taylor had given you all?
No, absolutely not. She's never given me anything. Absolutely, but I mean, I read online or whatever what you're talking about. No, I've never got anything like from that. No.
Okay. Do you know anything about your finances?
No, to be honest, I give her when I work a case or and I got a settlement from my attorney, I hand it straight to Ash. She takes care of everything.
How much was that check for?
One check was almost 50 and the other check was almost 10, so almost approximately 60. I handed it straight to her.
Zach has so far cooperated fully with the detective's line of questioning, and his responses have checked out. As you can see from his current posture, when he leans forward with his legs spread and keeps his eyes open, he doesn't seem defensive. His voice alters, but there are no irregularities so far, and they all have the same pitch. In any case, noticing that he has been nothing but confident in his answers, the detectives began to ask sharper questions, asking about where the body was found.
The property up on Britt Road,
Mhm.
and that's owned by her aunt and uncle.
Mhm.
Have you ever been out there?
Yeah.
When's the last time you think you were out there?
The last time I went out there is when I traded my four-wheeler for a side-by-side. And that's the last time I've been. Before that, it was, I couldn't tell you.
Well, when was that?
A couple months back.
Do you think that it would have been before this happened or after?
Probably before. Probably before.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you know anything about a trailer?
I've got
Out there?
a little bitty trailer that is, my side-by-side wouldn't fit on it, so I just left it out there. I was going to get her cousin to maybe replace the wood on it or whatever.
Okay.
After clearing the detective's doubt about his involvement with his answer about the property, they decided to ask one in particular that would expose him as an accomplice.
Your phone number, the 554 number, do you always keep that on you?
Yeah, I reckon.
Do you ever loan it out to anybody?
No.
Okay.
No.
Would you
never.
ever loan it to anybody, or
No.
do you remember Ashley ever using it, taking it with her?
No. Never.
Okay, did it ever get lost or stolen or anything and get replaced?
No, not that I recall.
Okay.
That particular question wasn't out of the ordinary because phone records proved crucial in clearing Zach and exposing his wife's involvement in Taylor's disappearance. Ashley's phone and text records were collected during the investigation, and inconsistencies in her initial statement were discovered. Ashley's phone records on September 8, 2017, revealed that, contrary to her initial claims, she had placed a number of calls from another MacArthur family house in a different area of town. Taylor's phone record also showed that Ashley's story of where she and Taylor had been on the day she disappeared did not match up with where the phone records placed them. It would have been more difficult for Zach to claim that he wasn't an accomplice if Zach's phone records had shown that he was at the farm owned by the MacArthur family, where Taylor's body was eventually discovered. Seeing that his phone records and his claims matched, the detectives now decided to interrogate him on some tangible evidence.
Okay. Do you own any 9mm
Yeah.
handguns? What kinds?
My Glock.
Just one or
Yeah. When I've got a lot of guns, so
Mhm.
a lot. I think one Glock 9,
what model?
19.
19? Okay. And do you still have it?
Y'all got it.
We have it? Okay. Well, I don't know if we got it or the
So
city.
the city,
has it.
whoever. I mean,
So-
from what I read off the thing, they got my Glock, my SIG, my other Glock 45. I can't remember. I mean, it was a bunch of shit on there.
Do you know how Taylor died?
Yeah, for Ackerman told me that the girl was shot, and he heard that from Mulchan.
So Ackerman told you and he got it from Mulchan?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he elaborate on anything else?
He just said that they thought the girl was shot.
Okay. Did you ever buy Ashley a gun or anything of that nature?
Man, over the years, yeah. Yeah. I bought her a 380 one time,
What kind?
PPK.
Okay.
Um,
PPKS or PPK?
I don't remember.
Okay.
And it sat in a box on the bookshelf for I don't know how long. Yeah.
And does she carry a firearm?
I haven't seen her one in quite a while. Not at all. Mm-mm.
Do you own a 38
I-
airweight?
Yes. And that, I mean, she used to, that's the last thing I ever remember seeing her with was a 38 airweight, and that was, I haven't seen her with that in I don't know how long.
Holstered, unholstered, or
I think it was in a Glock leather holster.
like an oversized holster or something?
Yeah. Yep.
How did she carry? When she would carry?
Oh, I'm sure she'd just throw it in her car or whatever. I don't know.
Did she carry a purse or anything like
Yeah.
that? Do you know if she would put it in her purse?
No, I never saw a gun in her purse. Mm-mm.
I mean, I'm interested. Did you kill or participate in the
Absolutely
death
not.
of?
I would
Let
never.
me ask this question.
Okay. Whatever.
Did you kill or participate, or do you have any knowledge?
Zero, Jason. Absolutely none. I don't want to be nowhere near it. No, nothing involved with it. Nothing. I know nothing about it.
What? Have you ever heard anybody mention of a black guy who goes by the name of T or anything of that nature?
Mm-mm.
Nothing.
No.
All right. Did you bring your phone with you?
Yeah, it's in the Jeep.
You have a problem if we download it?
I don't have a problem with anything. No, I don't. I mean, can you do it like quickly?
We'll do it if you're giving us permission to do it. As soon as we walk outside, I'll have our guy start dumping it and get it back to you.
What do you think?
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
So, I mean, I will tell you, I mean, we do have your phone records.
Yeah,
and
I figured.
everything of that
I'm good.
nature
I
already.
figured. Yeah.
So, and I mean, bottom line is I'd either, help exonerate
Sure.
him or not. So, what do you think happened to Taylor?
I couldn't tell you, Jason. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, nobody deserves to ever get anything happen to them like that whatsoever. I don't know, buddy. I don't know what happened to her.
And, I'm asking you, as this investigation continues, whether it's text, phone records, computers, financials, is there going to be anything that hems you up or
No,
ties you
absolutely
to that?
nothing. Nothing. None. I'm not that guy, man. And you, Jason, goddamn, you know me.
But if you're in my shoes, this has to be done.
I'm right.
It has to be
I'm
done.
right. Y'all, I mean, I'm not that guy. I never have been. I'm never gonna be. I mean, there's applications on my table at home, and I've been going to interviews trying to get back in law enforcement. I'm not that guy. Never gonna be. I never have been. I'm a good person, man. I don't hang out with dirtbags whatsoever.
So far, it has been clear that Zach has nothing to hide. But another thing more obvious is that he is oblivious to the fact that his wife Ashley is capable of murder. He could not believe he was even entertaining the thought that Ashley would kill another human.
Feelings aside,
Just logically. We didn't just fucking show up at Britt Road.
I can't see her doing something like that. I mean, she's super intelligent. She's got a
master's degree.
yeah, or is it master's or I don't know, one of the two. And that's just sloppy. I mean, that's sloppy shit. That's sloppy. I can't see her doing that. It's super sloppy.
But the truth was that Ashley had in fact killed Taylor, shot her at the back of her head on her parents' farm, then taken her phone and pretended to be her to send messages to give the impression that she was still alive for days. Even when Cassandra sent frantic texts to check on Taylor, Ashley replied as Taylor that she needed time to herself. Interestingly, she had already withdrawn and spent the $34,000 entrusted with her, and Taylor was only asking for the money on the day she killed her. She had made up a story about going to the farm while she was with Taylor and had killed and buried her at the site. Being a former crime scene technician, Ashley knew very well to cover her tracks. But unfortunately for her, she was also caught on camera in a hardware store, purchasing the exact same cement that was used to plug the hole Taylor was buried in.
We worked some cases together, and then I worked maybe a couple for her.
But once again, was Zach in on the murder? The detectives were trying to rule out any possibility in which he could have been involved when they asked him.
Did you ever, at any time you were out there, did you ever notice any type of concrete, quickcrete, anything of that nature?
None. Zero.
Okay.
No. Go ahead.
I know you're doing some home improvements and stuff. Does Ashley help you with that?
I mean, we haven't done nothing with that, and that's been like that for a while.
What all have you been doing down? It's what,
I had,
just in the bottom floor?
Yeah, we got screwed over by a contractor, and it's been a nightmare ever since. Yeah, the bottom floor basement down there.
Okay. Now I noticed some mortar or something.
Yeah. That was, we had my buddy Ray did that over a year ago, and it's extra stuff that's been there, and because I know we're going to retile it or whatever, or have it done. It was just no reason to throw it out.
Okay, so Ray was doing it. Did Ashley ever help you do tile work or anything like that?
She helped me put the tile in the house. Yeah.
Okay.
And upstairs. But that's been years ago.
Despite being a private investigator, Zach had never had any reason to doubt his wife. But with the evidence before him, some things weren't adding up. In any case, he still trusts his wife and was only thinking of helping the police in finding the killer. So he signs a warrant authorizing the police to search his home, account, and phone record.
No, I haven't done it yet.
Okay.
Do you swear everything you told us was the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but
Absolutely.
the truth? Okay. Do you want to walk him out?
Yeah.
And
Okay, cool.
I'll work on this.
All right, we'll talk, brother.
All right.
All right, thanks.
Let me,
Right
2
here.
seconds, let me grab some keys.
This right here says you do not have to consent to a search of yourself or your property. If you do consent to such search, any evidence observed or obtained by such search can be used against you in a court of law. If you refuse to consent to such search, your refusal cannot be used against you. Unless you consent to such search, we cannot search you or your property without probable cause except upon the authority of a search warrant issued by a judge or a proper court authorizing the search. A search warrant will not be issued except upon an affidavit setting forth the facts which constitute legally sufficient probable cause for the issuance of the search warrant. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before consenting to such search. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one may be appointed for you. This says that I've read the statement of my rights shown above and I understand what my rights are. I do not wish to talk to a lawyer for advice. I understand and know what I'm doing. No promises or threats have been made to me and no pressure of any kind has been used against me. This is for the consent to search of what kind of phone do you have?
Samsung.
Do you know what kind?
Note 8.
And it's just going to be for digital data. And if you don't have any questions and you agree to it, you can sign right there. And we'll take you down there to go grab it and bring it back up here. And hang on a second, I'm going to take all this stuff and get my keys.
So far, the detectives have learned all they needed to know that Zach wasn't involved in Taylor's murder. But Zach was still in doubt that his wife Ashley was capable of killing Taylor. In any case, 2 years after the murder and after a 4-day trial, a jury found Ashley guilty.
Little lies from her. So, and stuff just didn't start seeming right, and
She was sentenced to life in prison with a mandatory 25 years in serve.